I was very sorry I asked. A couple of weeks ago, I was hanging out with my cousin. She's married, and her maiden name was Giroux. And she's done a great deal of genealogical research on our family. So I asked her the meaning of the French-Canadian name Giroux. Well, her husband, the Italian, decided to Google it. And I'm very sorry I asked. It turns out the name Giroux means old man. Giroux means old man. This is not what I was hoping for. Now, I have observed a strong tendency in myself and pretty much everyone else. We all know, we really know that everyone gets old and everyone dies. We know this. But at the same time, we also believe something opposite. Although we know everyone ages and dies, we're surprised when it happens to us. It's like I believe an exception will be made in my case. You can deny this, but I know I'm right because I hear myself and I hear other people talking about being surprised at how fast time goes, or being surprised at how fast kids grow up, or being surprised that we're not as energetic as we used to be, or we're surprised when we look in the mirror and we see our mom or our dad. It's all part of that same thing. I know everyone gets older and everyone dies, but I kind of think an exception will be made in my case. This, I believe, is part of the human condition. I also think that some of this is due to the longer lifespans we now have. Health knowledge and medical care over the past couple of hundred years have resulted in hugely longer life expectancies for many human beings. In ancient times, very old age was very unusual. And even in more recent times, say back in the 1700s. Jesus died when he was about 30, and we kind of think of him as dying young. But the fact is, he was at least middle-aged in his culture, in his time and place. Most people at that time didn't live to be 30. Our current situation is unprecedented in human history. Many of us can expect to live comfortably into our 80s, our 90s, and beyond. And yet, no exceptions will be made. We know that we will get older and eventually die. That makes life bittersweet. It's also kind of confusing. In my head, I'm still a young guy. In my head, that is. My body tells me something quite different. But I believe that all of us keep within our hearts all of the selves we have ever been. The little boy I once was is still inside me. The teenager I once was is still in here somewhere. The young man I once was is still part of me. That too is the human condition. That too is bittersweet. Here's something else I try to remember. When someone I know and love is, say, over 90 years old, and he or she tells me they don't know why they're still here, and they would just as soon fall asleep and not wake up. Well, I don't think they are suicidal or in despair. I think what they're really telling me is this: life is hard for me now. It's a challenge for me to be this old. It's work to get through a day at my age. And so I try to understand and have a little more compassion. As I said, my last name, Giroux, means old man, and my career has been that of an Episcopal priest. The word priest is derived from the New Testament Greek word presbyter. In fact, the prayer book sometimes refers to people like me as presbyters. The word presbyter means elder or old one. So if a Giroux guy is a priest, he is actually old man, old man. And I will tell you, in spite of all that, my work is a real privilege. One of the joys of my life is that I am allowed to be part of people's lives at all stages: birth, childhood, young adulthood, middle age, old age, and even death itself. I am constantly reminded of the human condition. And if I'm paying attention, it always reminds me to be more compassionate. We're all of us, in the same boat. Over the years, I've learned a great deal from many, many teachers. One of them is Joseph Campbell. He was a great student and teacher of the mythologies of the world. His studies gave him a deep understanding of the human condition in cultures from all around the world. And he once said that if he had to sum up everything he's learned, he would say this: make your heartbeat match the beat of the universe. Match your nature with nature. Say yes to the whole thing, even your own extinction. That is joyful affirmation of the sorrows of the world. My little theme song. That's what Joseph Campbell said. Now, Jesus put it even more succinctly in that prayer he taught us to say, "Thy will be done. Thy will be done." No exceptions will be made. We all live, we age, and we die. That's part of what it is to be human. What's the point of complaining about it? I say, thy will be done. I say, yes. Another great teacher was a 20th century theologian named Karl Barth. He wrote such big books that if you put them all in a stack, they probably weigh more than I do. Someone asked this great Christian thinker, what is the most profound theological teaching of all? And he thought for a minute, and he said, Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. So let me remind you of that profound theological statement by singing it to you right now. And I have a second verse which underlines what I'm trying to say to you today. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little ones to Him belong. They are weak, but He is strong. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. The Bible tells me so. Jesus loves me, this I know. When my hair gets white as snow, when my eyesight gets quite dim, still I'll always trust in Him. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. The Bible tells me so. And you too. That is what old man says.